hit the last hour of your Hump Day show, and joining us in studio, look, she's the ultimate watchdog. She's the watchdog in charge of the Better Business Bureau, Sharane Gott. Good morning.
I am the cheerleader watchdog.
That is it. Because you know what? Not only do you send out press releases of, oh, this terrible happened, we also get all the time tips to protect yourself, tips to protect your information.
That's the important part.
Kind of in the news today, PokemonGo.
Oh, gosh.
I've
heard it everywhere all the time.
So, as someone who wasn't even a fan of Pokemon, but it's being credited with at least getting people off their couches and out from in front of their iPads to walk around and find Pokemon.
Well, there's just one question I wonder about is, whatever happened to common sense?
Well, yes. People signed into these things with their Google accounts, and now they're finding there was a security flaw where it could have exposed all of your Google stuff. But like you said, why are people surprised? And then you have the other issue where people are setting up armed robberies, allegedly, in Baton Rouge by setting up a Pokemon for someone to come find, and then guess what? They're waiting there to take your wallet. Or the cell phone you're playing the game on.
And we could talk about, let's not get anybody else to take care of us. Why don't we just take care of ourselves?
It is.
So if you're going to do something like this, the Better Business Bureau would say, make sure you check the contract, make sure you understand what you're getting into before you jump. What I like to say is people are click happy. Click here and click there and click there. Oh, I'll worry about what happens later.
Yeah.
If that
it won't happen to me.
No, right. If it works for you, then go for it, but then don't complain after something happens.
So this week we got a scam alert from your office talking about re-scamming the scammed.
Right.
People who have already fallen for these things maybe have lost thousands of dollars in some of these schemes.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Thousands and thousands and thousands. These scammers want to find you because they know that you are gullible, I guess you'd say. Mm-hmm. And they're making these lists of people who easily give into these fraud schemes, whatever they may be, and re-scamming people.
When I send out something, we send out local stuff. And so let's get that real clear. So the what's happening locally is, I saw some things this morning on TV about the sales tax being down, the income being down. Mm-hmm. That is hitting us hard now. So what happens is our unemployment rate's a little higher too. Schemers and scammers, I don't like those words. Let's just call them what they are, crooks. Yeah. They wear black hats. I just know they're on the phone back there wearing a black hat and smoking a big ugly cigar. So, that's what, when somebody calls you on the phone, that's the picture you ought to get, regardless of what they sound like. These people are crooks. But right now, what's happening is because of the high unemployment and because of the economy being stressed right now, hopefully it'll come back soon. But right now, there are job opportunity scams like crazy. Those crooks look for these opportunities and they prey on the desperate. How many times have I used that word here, Bernie? Over and over and over and over.
Times.
So let me tell you about this one. This is what we call this particular news release is the most shameful, re-scamming the scammed. So these crooks, these bad guys, let's call them what they are, they take their energy and they put it into developing lists called sucker lists. Mm-hmm. So, okay, you've been scammed once, let's do it again.
So awful.
But it makes sense. If you fell for it once, you might fall for it again. These are desperate people looking for all kinds of ways for better opportunities that usually make no sense and, are pie in the sky and sound too good to be true, but these are sucker lists. So they identify these sucker lists and then they go after them. They target them. And in some case, I was just talking to Carol Ross outside, and she was saying, well, it targets the elderly. It's some degree it does, but mostly they target job opportunities. If they've taken advantage of the scam once, they go back for it. The IRS scam. How many times have we heard this go round?
You know what? I
round.
must have just put myself out there that I must need a vacation because I get about 3 calls a day. Hey, we've got a cruise for you. There's a cruise waiting.
Wow.
And you know what, Bernie? See you later. I'm putting in for vacation time.
There's always a cruise waiting.
Always
let me tell
a cruise. Yeah, it's a cruise to know where you want to go is the truth.
Well, this is the problem with this kind of thing. IRS scams, those kinds of things, if they didn't work, they wouldn't keep using them over and over again. That's what I tell y'all, too.
Yeah.
So this is what we've decided at our office is if you want to stop these people, what we hear from people all the time and they report these scams, and they say, why don't they put their energy into something better? You know, they don't want to put their energy somewhere better. They want to be a crook. That's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't do it if it wasn't profitable.
And you brought up a good point. Obviously, with the unemployment rate inching up higher, obviously the local oil and gas industry still suffering. There are people who are going to, buy into these things. And you know what? You've said it time and time again, and we've heard it over and over. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah, and there is some psychology, some thinking behind this. Is you can't think and feel at the same time. So sometimes they make these calls and they don't call you a sucker. What they call you and say, we're a recovery expert. We will recover that money for you. That's another twist on how they'll get you. Oh, somebody's going to get me my money back. Not a crook.
Yeah.
So, before you leap into these, remember that these people could not think and feel at the same time. So if you're getting those calls, then remember that. If you have a business, if you're listening to KPEL and you have a business, which a lot of business people do, remember, it is our job to educate. And it's our job not to protect them, but to educate your employees, your family, everybody else. We can stop these crooks. If they don't make money, they won't do this. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. The BBB offers some tips to avoiding similar scams. Do not return messages from anyone claiming to be from the IRS. We know the IRS contacts residents by letter. Also, never pay money over the phone to someone you do not know. That should be kind of a general rule in general. Never click on an email link or attachment unless you're positive it's from a credible and secure source. Keep antivirus software on your computer. And finally, never give personal, banking, or Social Security information on the phone. I have a question, in terms of my own life. I obviously, with doctor's offices and young kids, I know my social off the top of my head. We've had to know it forever. But when you go somewhere or whenever you're trying to register your child for something and you have to have it, what is the most secure way to have that besides writing it on your hand so that when you take a shower, it washes off?
What do you mean, to keep it on you?
Yeah,
well, you don't keep your Social Security card, that's for sure.
Not your card, but if I need the numbers for my kids, for example.
Well, it just depends on how you want to do it.
Okay.
I mean, I would say memorize it.
Gotcha.
That is the best way to do it. Don't put it on your cell phone. Don't put it anywhere else. Put it where you put your passwords, perhaps, in a little book or something. But even if you lose your wallet with it in there or a list or something, you're vulnerable. So my suggestion, most of us know our Social Security numbers. I don't know if you know all your children's Social Security numbers.
I have like 10 kids. No, I'm just kidding. I only have 2. I should be able to do it.
I think you should be able to do it too.
Okay, but, summer project.
Yes, summer project. The thing about it is protect yourself. Do not wait for anybody else to protect you. That's the whole thing. And remember, there is a reason why these tips that we listed are in that order. Recently, somebody got scammed really badly. They took over her computer and told her that they were Microsoft. They lied. Go figure.
Yeah.
So sometimes there are people that appear to be someone and they are not. So before you jump into something, think about it. Don't get click happy. Call the Better Business Bureau. You can give us a call at 981-3497.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, your local number.
Yeah, we're open from 9 to 3:30. We answer the call. You don't have to wait. If it's busy, that means we're on the phone. Call back. You can go to our website, acadiana.bbb.org. And, of course, you can go to our Facebook page and like it, and you'll get all these tips on these scams. And
they're eye-opening, I'll tell you. I get them in my email box, so, we can really see them. And as they come up, this whole being re-scammed, you know what? Why don't we propose another list? Once you've been scammed and you make it through and you get over it and you may or may not even recover your stuff, you should go on a list that we've been there, done that. We're not going back.
People are usually embarrassed about it, and they don't want people to know about it. And usually when they call, they want to be anonymous, and we help them as best you can. You can't file a complaint at the BBB on a schemer and scammer because they're usually in another country. In a third world country. They could be anywhere. They say, it's like the Jamaican scam. We got a call on it yesterday. How in the world can these scams keep going on? And we don't even know that it's from Jamaica because the number can be spoofed or cloned.
Yes.
Wow.
So did any of y'all ever get a call from yourself?
Yeah, I got a call from myself. I have gotten
one from myself, yes.
What did you say to yourself?
Well, actually, when I actually answered it, the phone hung up.
So do not answer the phone. That's my whole point. Do not answer the phone. You will be on another list that says, they might consider it because you answered the phone. Do not talk to them. Do not try and outsmart them.
I never thought about that.
Don't. Don't answer the phone. Just let it ring. If you don't have caller ID, and invest the $2 or $3 a month that it will save you the headaches. I get more calls from schemers and scammers than I do from friends these days. It's kind of sad. So, at my home
friends,
phone.
Come on, call Sharane.
At my home phone. Well, I'm never home. That's the problem.
All right, Sharane Gott from the Better Business Bureau right here in Acadiana. Thanks for coming in as always and keeping us up to date on these sorts of threats.
It's our pleasure.